angry, Aussie, 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 angry, Aussie, Aussie,
Alrighty, live Thursday night, which is virtually Friday, which is practically the weekend. So let's get wild. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, you hear the noise from time to time, if not constantly. As I mentioned last night, there's 20-year-olds having a little get-together in the next room, and they're a good bunch. I made them a big rum punch and a drink dispenser, and I think they had their own drinks as well. So we'll see how they end up. So good evening, Megalich, Annette, Fox of Fate. Nice to see all y'all. I feel like it's a bit warmer than I was expecting. Do I have my phone with me in case? Oh man, I forgot to call Aidsy today. I was going to call Aidsy and I forgot. We'll see if he contacts me this night. Cool. I'll have the phone ready in case he calls me or texts me or any of the variants of those things. Are there variants besides calling and texting? Not really. Send a voice message. Oh no, Fox, they're not an angry bunch. They can't match up to the angry bunch, which yeah, I guess we'd do that again tonight because that's always fun. I feel so it's just a bit hotter than I thought it was. I don't know. I had the door behind me open before letting a breeze in, which was very nice. But a thing. Oh, shit. See, I wonder what the hell that was. MMS, but yes, mobile message service. AZ does that because I assume you can do it with all phones. You certainly can with iPhones. He'll record a little voice memo and send it to me as a message. You know, when dyslexia or dexterity is frustrating him and he doesn't want to deal with a keyboard, so he records a message and sends it to me. Foxy, but I think it's much warmer in your part of the world than it is now. I think I know outside it's quite cool, I think. 23 still. And that's as hot as it's meant to get tomorrow. So it's going to drop a bit, but not much. It's going to drop a bit overnight and then piss down rain, but not get all that much cooler. Oh, yeah, Shieldsy. Aidsy would FaceTime if I let him. Yeah, but maybe that's it, Annette. It's really still tonight. And after we had those really high winds, was it just last night? But Melbourne and its weather. What the hell? Justin, hello. How are you doing? You see, I'm in my bartender clothes again because I have to reshoot just a teeny bit of my Brandy Alexander video because I did it with the wrong fucking ingredient. I just got confused with what cream liqueur to use, and I feel like a complete idiot. But I got it all ready to just really quickly shoot about a minute of video tonight, and then I can edit it up tomorrow, and it goes live on Friday night because this weekend is Brandy Alexander Day. It's like all the big drinks have their day, and it's, you know, why not? Why not indeed? The following week is Pisco Sour Day, which is apparently very important in Peru. Peru is very proud of their national spirit, Pisco, and they have apparently very aggressive words with Chile. Chileans claim that they invented Pisco. I don't think there's a lot of people who've researched it who are on the side of the Chileans. I think most people agree it's a Peruvian drink, and Chile has its own variant. But yes, don't really want to get in the middle of a fight with Peruvians and Chileans. But yeah, I like a Pisco Sour, so I'm going to make a Pisco Sour tomorrow night to go up on the channel next week. And I have to decide what else I'm going to do. Justin, coming out, you're finding a lot of people thought you were asexual. I tend not to ask too many questions, unless I'm actually involved or looking to be involved with someone. I don't really think someone's sexuality is an enormous concern of mine, apart from when they want me to understand where they're coming from. But I tend to avoid sort of really asking people. If someone wants to share details and, as I say, help me understand where they are in life, I'm always appreciative of that. But I don't really make a habit of, I need to know what your sexuality is and your gender identity, and it better never change. You better not be going through a process of discovering your identity. It better be carved in stone. I just worry about uptight people. I watched the most recent are you after a drink? That's cool. Yeah, but you reminded me that there's a party and I put a pizza in the oven. So it's not burnt. It isn't burnt. Hurrah!
Look, honestly, I don't think anyone's going to care if it is or not.
All right, bring it out in a second.
Yeah. Thank you so much, brother.
No drama. So yes, I'm helping my lad in hosting duties, and I forgot I put an extra pizza in for them. I just have to slice it. I'll I'll keep up a running commentary. I like to. Oh no, wait. Where's my cleaver? See, I don't have a pizza cutter. So this is my preferred method of cutting pizza, just levering on the cleaver. Leave it to cleaver. So just cutting up the pizza. God damn it. We've been cooking a lot in the kitchen today. There's shit everywhere. So I'm out of my comfort zone a little. So this is going to take a hot minute. Hello. I am, yes. I'm giving people a... Right, is there anything you want in the fridge, or you're just going to go? Okay. That's right. So you'll see people coming in and out during the night. Ah, dear. Sorry? Oh, yeah, with some ice cream. It was super yum. Been getting lots of yum things cooked today, just by the by. In fact, you know what I think I'm going to do? Are you going to steal a piece of pizza? Why not? Excellent plan. Yeah. Right. So I was in a really awkward position trying to cut the pizza, so I'll let's see. Try and cut the pizza. This is actually much more convenient than where I was before. So, just a cheese pizza. I was originally thinking, oh, there's going to be a few people here, might order in some pizzas. And then I was in the supermarket today getting some stuff. And they had some cheap pizzas, cheap pizza bases. So just put some toppings on and well, here we go. Right. Gotta convert it from the pizza tray to a plate. This is angry hospitality. All right. I'll be back in a sec. I'll get that. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Get this pizza tray out of my way. Nearly made a comically loud noise. Oh. Oh, hooty hoo. Shannon, hello. Oh, good man. Oh, God. Shazzy, I just get you making a dentist reference here, toothbrush ads. Yes. Chris, hello as well to you, sir. Yes, I love the tie. I've got the same tie as last night because I have to shoot an addendum to the video I shot last night because I messed up, which I'll do, I don't know, half an hour when it gets dark. I'll ask the rowdies next door to be quiet for 5 minutes. It's going to be a very quick shoot. Just to explain, this whole video is wrong. I shot it with the wrong thing. This is the right thing. Here's a cocktail made with the right thing. This is what it tastes like. What an idiot, honestly. That was such a weird mistake to make when I hadn't even been drinking. But well, c'est la vie, as the French love to say. I don't know why they say that. It makes no sense. Why don't they just speak English like decent people? Honestly, is it so hard? Is it so hard? The bloody French, honestly. What are you going to do? It is. Why do I feel warm? Sorry, there's a little thing here. I'm just going to check. I was saying it's 25. I'm turning the fucking air conditioning on. I'm sweaty. It's just weird. I'm just like slightly uncomfortably hot in here. So I need convenience and comfort, basically. Well, Shieldsy, the oven was on. This is a true thing. So I need to cool things down a bit. Just cool it on down. Shannon, you like my boomer talk? It's fun. It's absolutely fun. That's the after show, Shannon. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. There's Annette put me in a Facebook group called Sydney Nightlife from back in the day. It's basically people reveling in memories from the 80s and early 90s. And someone who got added to the group said, like, I was born in 1993, so I don't know why someone put them in the group unless they're trying to rat their parents out to them or something. So they say, I was born in 1994. And I just commented, you might have been a product of Sydney nightlife back in the day. You may, have been conceived in a toilet stall in one of these clubs people keep posting pictures of. Maybe that's why you're here. Who knows? And it is really fun. Some dude posted today. If you can think of the most 80s hair and outfits, like puffy pirate shirts and huge hairspray blow-dried mullets, like huge feathery mullets, these three guys were dressed up to go out, and they were the epitome of this particular 80s look. Oh my God, it was something else. I should find, I should see if I can find the picture actually. I'll see if I can find the group on Facebook, and if I see an outrageous photo or two. Let me see. Oh God, here's a weird bit of trivia. Oh, I should save it for if Abigail gets here. If Abigail gets here, remind me there was something on Facebook I was going to share. Oh God. That was one. Let me see. Sydney nightlife back in the days. Okay, that's a little bit risque. Oh, Hellfire. Okay. That's why it's a bit risque. Someone's looking for Facebook prison with it. Okay, I found it. I do have to share this. I know it's scary, Shannon. And I'm going to open up the stream. Yes. Well, yeah, there is my beautiful silver fox face, but Raiders, D. Snyder-esque. Look, I'll show you. I'll stop teasing. I'll show you, and then we'll do Angry Bunch. Chrome tab. Where are we? What do you reckon? What do you reckon of that? Look at just those white outfits, the huge hair. I will go on record. I never did this. I never did this in the 80s because I was like indie post-punk, not into this hair stuff. But oof, how was that? Yes, Annette, pseudo echo. For Australians, that was full-on pseudo echo. Wowzers. But I feel comfortable being able to say I never did that. I had spiky hair. I mean, Christ, my pre-COVID YouTube hairdo was basically the hairdo I've had since I was 20. I'm so fucking boring. I didn't change it. It was basically that. It was short back and sides and spiky. That was my hair forever. Abigail, speaking of Star Trek, I'm going to open it up to Angry Bunch, but sorry, someone had to post. There's a picture of Michael Hutchence and Kylie Minogue in 1989. I was next to them in traffic once. He came out from the hotel where he's staying on motorcycles, and they're right up next to us on Oxford Street. So you may or may not know this, Abigail. It's the same tie as yesterday, Abigail, because I have to do an addendum to the video I did yesterday. So this is for the same video. Abigail, you may or may not know this, but the character Paul Stamets in Star Trek Disco, who steers the disco through the mycelium network, he's named after an actual real world author, Paul Stamets, who writes books about mushrooms, because a friend shared this book on Facebook called Mycelium Running, How Mushrooms Can Help Save the World, by Paul Stamets. And I was just, what the fuck? And when I said that to the friend, she said, yeah, they the character's like inspired by the real author. So there you go. Oof. Oh, you're all migrainey today and had to give a statement to the cops after seeing a fist fight on the tram. Aidsy and I were meant to do that a few years ago when there you go. See, I thought you might know, Abigail. I didn't. I learned that today. Aidsy and I were on a tram a few years ago, and a young woman who's having a mental health episode and started hitting people. And people said, like, fucking stop it or call the cops. And she just started screaming, call them, I need to spend tonight indoors. And I was like, okay, that fucking sucks. Like, she was deliberately causing, and she was assaulting, not really seriously, but she was assaulting people, pulling hair and smacking and hitting. Like, it was completely unreasonable, but she was clearly at the end of her tether, and she wanted to be arrested so she would sleep indoors. It was really fucking sad, actually. But then this really cool cop came in. What do you mean win? Is a Vietnamese Australian cop, and he was Mr. No Nonsense. He sorted out shit so quickly. It was astonishing. Helly and hello, Kirsten. Nice greeting, rat bags and reprobates. It was what I heard the other day. I'm not sure if this covers everyone. Greetings, witches, bitches, and switches. That might have been for a very specific crowd. Jude, you're like, okay, you haven't been on the stream for a while. This is my sort of COVID lockdown here. I haven't had a haircut in 6 months, longer, and I'm not coloring it either. So I like Alan Rickman. I'll take that. So invite for anyone who wants to Angry Bunch tonight. Yes, Raiders, the shit I've seen on the 86 tram. Yeah, you do get fucked up shit on the trams. No two ways about it. So yes, anyone who wants to Angry Bunch it up. Shieldsy, you're up to 12 months, no haircut. I think I got a haircut in May, about a month before whenever the hard lockdown in Melbourne started. The link is on Facebook, Shannon. I was wondering what you were referencing, Annette. I guess it's the shit I've seen on the 86 tram. Does sound like a good Facebook group name. Oh, there we go. You got a friend who's a tram driver. Yeah, taxi drivers, tram drivers, bus drivers, they see some shit. Oh, nice. Chris, your girlfriend cut your hair a few days ago. I mean, I can get a haircut. Hairdressers are open. Barbers are open. You know, I could go down to the barber down the road that offers you a beer with your haircut. But that's okay, Abigail. Completely understand if you're too migrainey to get on. Look at the boys. Grasshopper and Fox. Yeah.
Hi.
How are we?
Pretty
Good,
good.
good, good.
Trying to direct a friend of mine to buy the only AMD Ryzen 5000 series that's available in Australia at the moment. It's
Oh, Jesus. God damn those fucking cryptocurrency whackers. They fucked up everything, making high-end gear expensive and hard to get. Speaking of them, I did see a story the other day. It's from England. Some guy who'd thrown out an old computer years ago and then realized it had the hard drive had 2,500 bitcoins on it from back when Bitcoin was worth 10 cents. And that's worth like $300 million now at the moment. And he's trying to bribe the local council to be allowed to dig up the tip to try and find it. He said, like, if you let me dig it up and I find it and recover the Bitcoin, I'll donate 100 million to the council.
That's
like,
crazy. No, there's another guy who, like, he's got a portable hard drive with all of his bitcoins on the portable hard drive that are under an encryption password. After 10 attempts, if you put in the wrong password, the encryption basically just destroys the files. And it's something in the vicinity of like 500 or 600 odd Bitcoin. And he's up to 8 attempts and does not remember what his password was.
God damn. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Way back in the day, a couple of friends of mine and I, when Bitcoin first became an actual thing, we decided to see what the whole brouhaha was about. And we mined, I think it was 3 coins in about 2 days. And they were worth absolutely nothing. And we were like, okay, so we've done that now. And we deleted the Bitcoin files that we had and just never thought about it again. And when it hit like $20,000 of Bitcoin last year, I think it was, we were kind of messaging each other going, so, do we feel like an idiot yet? Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But of course, the absurd thing is any cryptocurrency is now is speculation. And it was meant to be currency. It was meant to be something you could buy and sell with. And you cannot, in practical terms, you can, but it's absurd. The idea of buying something. Like, I know someone who, he was really talking up cryptocurrency, and I was like, it's stupid as fuck. It's smoke and mirrors, gambling and speculation, and can all fall apart in a microsecond. And he's like, and I said, and besides, it was supposed to be currency and you can't use it to buy stuff. And he's like, I paid my electricity bill like 3 years ago. And I was like, how many Bitcoins did you use? And it was like, like 100 Bitcoins to pay a $300 thing. And I went, that was really fucking dumb, wasn't it? And he's like, yep.
No, when you can literally pay like a bit of Bitcoin to get like several rather large scale items sent to your house nowadays. This lady that I know that lives over in Perth, she bought her new PC via Bitcoin from her husband, who had like 2 Bitcoin in total. And with like half of 1 Bitcoin, she managed to buy herself a brand new, absolute kick-ass, latest, greatest everything PC. Like monitor, keyboard, mouse, case, everything, literally everything, for like half a Bitcoin. It is an insane balls to the wall machine, and I'm like, there's part of me that is tempted to set up my computer to do Bitcoin mining, like in the background while I'm doing other things, but like the chances of me actually getting a Bitcoin in any reasonable amount of time, like by the time that I finally get a Bitcoin, it'll probably be worth 30 cents again, so it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and Abigail's saying you can buy stuff on the dark web. Yeah, you can, but it's a really stupid idea for both sides. The currency used to buy it could be worthless the next day, or you could have effectively given up tens of thousands of dollars by buying something with it. And it's just it just makes no sense. It's just a ridiculous, it's a pyramid scheme basically. But then again, so is all currency. And as someone brought up, the fucking GameStop stock story out of you. Yeah, exactly. It is funny. It's hilarious.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, no, this how much of that story do you know? Because I'm actually kind of good friends with one of the guys who's heavily involved in this.
Yeah, we talked a bit about it last night, and then I read more about it today. in simple terms, there's a bunch of people on Reddit who've essentially gamified manipulating stock prices, and they singled out GameStop, which was trading at about $6, and various money people were shorting the stock because they were convinced GameStop was going to cease to exist. And when you short the stock, you are betting that the price will go down because you are committing. At this date, I will buy this many shares from you at this price, and if it goes down, you win. If it goes up, you lose. The Redditors pushed it up to like $160, and they destroyed a hedge fund that was over leveraged, and now they're all talking about changing the rules and whatnot. And it's like, get fucked. Just because someone who wasn't a Wall Street piece of shit made money out of it, you fucking lying gangster pieces of shit want to fix the game yet again.
Yeah. See, the guys so they wanted to take down this hedge fund as sort of like the achievement of mucking around with the stock market part, because hedge funds for the most part have a tendency to make it really difficult for other people in the stock market to make any meaningful amount of money, but also according to these guys, it also has all sorts of knock-on effects to interest rates and fuel prices and rent prices and electricity prices. Like, it's got all of these different knock-on effects when hedge funds are concerned. So it was basically a kind of semi cyber protest statement type thing of you guys want to basically corner the market. Well, we can fuck you over if you try to do that. And the hedge fund was betting the GameStop shares were going to plummet because they were only worth like $3 or something when they bought them.
Yeah.
And
GameStop's probably going to go out of business because everyone buys digital now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And because of the pandemic as well, people aren't as willing to go down to the actual physical store to buy things, and they're ordering all of their fun pops and all of that sort of stuff online as well and whatnot. So they were like, so we're betting. For all intents and purposes, the hedge fund was betting that the stock was going to go down to like 30 cents or 40 cents or something like that.
Yeah.
And
oh my
these
God,
guys went,
Raiders said it closed at almost $350.
Yeah,
I didn't know it went that high. Jesus.
At peak today, it hit 384, and they had to suspend trading on it again because of how much it was fucking up everything else. By the time that they brought it back, it was at around 330, I think, or just under 330, and then they started buying it up again to 350 towards close of trading today. And now they want to implement new rules to try and prevent this from happening again. But the funny thing is, this Reddit group basically seeing more than anything how much they can actually really fuck over the status quo. One of the things that they talked about was the American protests that happened after George Floyd's death, right?
Yeah.
Now, they're not comparing themselves to this, but they're just drawing an analogy. They said after his death, something really big did actually start to happen over in America about the need of real change in terms of racial discrimination, police powers and presence, all of those sorts of different things. And there was finally some real talks starting to happen around that. But as like with most movements, unfortunately, it feels very much like as if its wheels are stuck in the mud spinning.
The cat has spoken. Oh, Charlie, hello. Haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing?
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
Unfortunately, they said that basically the wheels are stuck in the mud spinning, and nothing's really coming from it. So with this one, they're going to change the rules where this whole like investing and all of that sort of stuff is concerned, so that their wheels get stuck in the mud and start spinning. And they're like, no, we'll find out what these new rules are, and we'll figure out a way to manipulate the system, because there's always a way to manipulate this system, and we're just going to keep at it. And I really, really hope that they do, because that is fantastic.
Oh, the Wall Street people will go so far as basically oh, Charlie, you don't have to apologize for being away, you've got stuff going on. Jesus, having life stuff to sort out is not something you have to apologize for. But it's going
How
to
dare
the
you
Wall.
have a life outside of us,
Yeah.
Charlie?
The Wall Street fucks are going to try and change the rules as much as possible without completely exposing themselves for the criminals they are. Because the rule they want is nobody except our club can benefit. And if we see anyone we don't like benefiting, we're allowed to just take that away from them. And they can't quite say that, but that's what they want. They literally want, no, if you're outside our club, outside our fixed game, and you find a way to get in on the fix, we want to stop that, even if you didn't break any rules. So I remember someone having a conversation the other day. It's surreal how bent casinos are. Like, they'll throw you out for card counting. And it's like, what the fuck is that? Being thrown out for paying attention to what's happening, like seeing what cards are being dealt and whatnot. It isn't cheating, it's paying attention. But the casino doesn't like the idea of you winning too much. So they literally just change the rules and say,
Oh yeah.
you were winning too much, we're throwing you out now.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
moment that you
fucking ridiculous.
the moment that you take away the house advantage in a casino, or the house advantage in terms of getting out of fucking abject poverty, basically. Like some of these guys in this Reddit thread are literally living in the basement of their parents' place, not because they want to, but because they have to.
Yeah.
That
No,
are
it's
basically doing
terrible.
this with the last bit of dimes that they've got in their bloody bank account, just to
Yeah.
make a statement of, we need to get out of this shit, and the way that we need to do that is proper distribution of wealth and all of these sorts of different things.
Yeah.
And like we're finally going to actually take a stand and make people pay attention, and make the
Mm.
people who seem to be able to make the most amount of change actually start paying attention. The best way to do that, fuck with their money. The
Yeah.
moment that
I
we can
love
fuck
it.
with their money, they all of a sudden, oh, what's going on? And
Yeah.
no, I'm right there with you. I fucking love every second of this. Like there's some economists going, oh no, they're going to create an artificial bubble, and if the artificial bubble
What?
bursts, like all of these people are going to lose out on all of this money. It is just like, I am so not going to lose fucking sleep if multi-billionaires are going to
Yeah.
lose millions upon millions of fucking dollars in an artificial bubble burst.
Mm.
Because let's face it, if you've got $15 billion in your bank account and you lose, say, 14,900,000, you've still got 90 million fucking dollars in your bank account. You can get the fuck over it.
Yeah. Yeah. They fuck them, honestly. One of the Redditors explained it with what they called a meme essay. It was basically that pivotal scene in the Joker movie where he's on the talk show. And they just they subtitled it with Joker being the Redditor and the host being that Jim Cramer guy who hosts a Mad Money. And he's a fucking criminal. And but it was the perfect way to do it, I think, because that Joker movie shows the nihilism of this. Yeah, you know what? You're scared we're going to blow it up? That's our fucking intention. Our intention is to blow it up. And they go, but dog, you could lose all your money doing that. And you go, oh, like I was going to live on $10,000 anyway. I might as well throw it up in the air and see what comes down.
See, that's the thing. Like, have you ever met these little pricks that work like in these various hedge funds around the places and whatnot? Like, they have got a real fucking shitty attitude about them in regards to the welfare and the safety of everybody else around them. It's a real self-centered, I will fuck everything in order to get myself extra money out of this. I will destroy this company, destroy that person's livelihood. Like, they really
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. So, like, to say that they're criminal, I think is a bit of an understatement, to be honest. And considering that they have also rigged the game time and time again, where different laws got put into place to stop them from doing this thing or that thing because it could be detrimental to this person or that person. So they've either managed to get the laws changed or figured out a way to do the same thing in a different way so that they circumvent the laws and continue doing horrible fucking things like all of the time. Like they have designed this system to benefit them and literally at the backs of fucking everyone else. So it getting destroyed is giving me a fucking raging hard on that is never going to go away.
Yeah, I look forward to the chaos, quite honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the audacity of these fucks talking about you'll damage the economy. You fucking criminal fucks have ruined the economy and destroyed millions of lives for your fucking greed. And the audacity of you saying, oh, this nihilistic behavior could cause problems. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you so hard.
And more to the point, you fucks also like invented this nihilistic fucking attitude that people have got.
It's the rules.
Yeah.
These guys are playing within the rules.
Yep. Yep. No, like, I was having this discussion with somebody the other night. Apple at one point there was worth $1 trillion with a
Yes.
fucking T. $1
Yes.
trillion. Okay.
Yeah.
If they like, there was a guy whose name I can never remember, but not long ago he actually won the Nobel Prize in economics, which
Right.
sounds like the most boring Nobel Prize in the world. But
Doesn't
he
it?
yeah, but he really does know his shit when it comes to
Yeah.
economics. And he
Yeah.
wrote a paper about Apple being worth $1 trillion and how much tax they should have paid in various countries and of course didn't. And he said,
Yes.
like, he pointed out that if they paid the amount of tax that they should have paid in America alone, not UK, not Australia, not anywhere else, just America, that would have been enough to fund socialized healthcare for all of their fucking citizens for the next 150 years without anybody needing to add a fucking dime from their taxes, without any government subsidies, nothing. This is training all of the doctors, all of the nurses, opening new hospitals, taking into account fucking population increases, all of that. 150 years on that 1 year's worth of tax alone. There is no way in any fucking world that any company or person should be worth $1 trillion fucking dollars. It is just unfathomable that
Yeah.
people are like, oh, good on Apple. No, that's a bad fucking thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
very bad. It's very bad. I think Christopher Freakshow knows who you're talking about. There's a publication called Economic for the Common Good, Gene Tirole and Stephen Rendell. Not sure if that's what you're referencing, but they seem to know. I mean, I always say to people, look, if you want to get angry, go watch the movie The Big Short, which does a very good job of explaining the global financial crisis and the fucking scam. And the weirdest bit of it is when certain people worked out what was going to happen and they placed bets. They shorted the economy essentially and said, this is going tits up. It cannot possibly survive. And all the big hedge funds took their money and accepted the short because they went, oh, no, that can't possibly happen because we keep saying it can't happen. And these rather rational people said, yeah, it can. And not only did it happen, but when it happened and they're going like, pay us, motherfuckers, the banks and hedge funds were refusing to admit what happened because they were moving a bunch of paper around to cover themselves as much as they possibly. And these guys, that's like when some of them absolutely lose faith. It's like, okay, doing this bet was really cynical and I kind of hate myself from it. But I didn't realize the degree to which these guys were criminals, that they, when I follow their rules and it works in my favor, they just go, nah, what are you going to do? It's just like,
No, exactly.
they're just fucking criminals.
There's an old series that used to be on TV that was my favorite fucking series of all time, Leverage. If none of you have ever watched the TV series Leverage, I can't recommend it highly enough. But in one of those episodes of Leverage, it actually like they show the way that a particular bank was betting against the world economic crisis crashing and using like deliberately giving out a shitload of bad fucking loans through the bank to businesses that they own or control or whatever, and then like, the government's going to come in, bail out the bank, and they get to keep the money in that fake business. And when you did a little bit of research, this actually fucking happened. That was a real thing. And the people that did that never saw a fucking badge coming in their direction because they followed the rules and played the game.
I don't know if you can adjust your mic volume, Grasshopper, but a couple of people have said you're very quiet.
I'll get on that now.
That's all right. Ashoka's saying wealth distribution is going to become a lot more extreme. Yeah. The top end are going to go further at the top, and the bottom end is going to go further to the bottom, and is going to be a bigger chunk. You used to have the upper class, the lower class, and the middle class, and the middle class was the big group. And now it's like the upper class, which is smaller but has much more of the wealth, the people way at the bottom end, which is now a much bigger group. And it's like the middle class is almost fictional at the moment. It's people desperately trying to cling on to something that used to be easy. And like you're saying, just saying to boomers, like, shut the fuck up. You could have a family, you could be like, the breadwinner with a factory job and have enough money to buy a house, raise a family, and have a car and all that shit with a really standard job. And it just isn't possible anymore because of various bits of bullshit in the system. Ooh, Abigail, you binge watched Tale from the Loop. I haven't finished Tales from the Loop yet, but it is super trippy and awesome. It is a very, very weird show, and the pacing of it is very dreamlike. It's really weird. I've mentioned the other ones. It's basically most of the technology, it seems to be like it's set in the 80s, but there's this technology center in this little town called The Loop that is apparently doing all this super impossible stuff. So in this world where most things look like the 80s, there are also these incredibly advanced robots wandering around and very mystical technology. Like everyone's using shitty rotary phones, but there are robots wandering around. And so it's quite dreamlike and surreal. Jeremy, the housing market is the biggest joke in the current situation. Trying to afford a house when everyone wants to sell it for 20% higher than the original purpose is never any problem. That's why I fucking laugh when something happens and you get these people saying, "Oh, the government has to do something, or the bottom will fall out of the housing market." And I was like, "Oh no! If that happens, anyone would be able to afford a house." It's
We
like,
can't have that.
You mean people who are over leveraged and trying to do tax dodges and borrowed far too much money? You mean they're going to lose out? Well, cry me a fucking river, honestly.
Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to hop out of the stream, readjust my microphone, and hop back in.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Can we eat the rich? Yeah, I agree with Christopher. Yes, we can. We can saute them, and you need the right sort of marinade.
Yeah, but then you'd be burning toxic waste, and that's illegal.
No, the right ones, they're going to be very marbled, a lot of them. You got to hang them upside down from hooks in a cool room and age them for a couple weeks. I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with a new column. It's not even new. There was a comedy movie back in the 80s called Eat the Rich, which was a far from perfect movie, but it was pretty funny. It was very weird and madcap. Sort of, I think a lot of the people who were involved in making The Young Ones were involved in making this movie Eat the Rich, and it was a very similar sort of madcap humor. Oh yes, Christopher, long pork. That was the saying for humans, because people who have talked to people who have eaten human flesh say it is sweet like pork. And so in various parts of the world where cannibalism was a thing, eating human was colloquially known as long pig because we're longer than the average pig, but apparently taste quite similar. It's kind of like I never watched that show Hannibal. A lot of people were fans of it. But it's like I was flicking through channels once and it was on, and Hannibal's there carving this, what looks like a big cured ham. And he's just carefully carving it. You just know because it's Hannibal. Like, no, that's a human thigh. That's not a pork forequarter. He's actually killed someone and cured the meat and is now convincing people that it's a cured ham that he's serving them. It's like, that is obviously a person.
Yeah.
Grasshopper, back.
Hello, how do I sound now?
You do sound louder now, I think. Good job.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, good. The only other option is to change to my my webcam microphone, and that comes through blastingly loud, apparently.
Ugh.
So don't want to do that to you.
Yeah,
I
let's not do
think
that.
that's better. Someone will tell us if it's not. Christopher, you want to go to Canberra and build a guillotine? Would people start to worry? Yeah, no. You would just get arrested. They have very punitive laws in Australia.
Freaky is a friend of mine that I've invited in to watch
Oh,
the
cool.
stream.
Cool.
Freaky is an absolutely awesome human being.
Yeah.
And Freaky, if you want to go down to Melbourne and build a guillotine, make sure that you do it in your clown makeup. He's a birthday clown with a difference, and he looks absolutely fantastic in his clown makeup, in my opinion.
I mean, you're calling him freaky. Of course he's a clown with a difference. He's insane. Probably.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that Freaky won't mind me saying this, but he got he's been called Freak Show for God knows how long, but the name Freaky came because he's the first person that I ever met and one of those rare people that actually had his tongue bifurcated.
Oh.
And he's able to control like both ends of his tongue and whatnot. It's trippy. It's really awesome. I love it. The nickname Freaky is literally said with love because he's a genuinely lovely guy. So to get back to these fucking assholes that have been playing this bloody game for God knows how long. You were talking about how the real estate bubble might collapse. I hope that it happens. Like, I've got a couple of friends who would be hurt by it, and I actually feel bad for them because they're not part of the problem. They work their ass off to get to what they've got. But to give everybody else an even playing ground, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Like, I would lose zero sleep. And I've had people like turn around to me and ask me before, well, don't you care about the people who have got so much money invested in housing? And no, I really don't. It's those bastards that have invested all of their money into housing that are making it unaffordable for everybody else. So, if you are making all of your money by treading on everybody else, if that ability for you to take that money gets taken away from you and you lose that money in the process, it's hard to feel sorry for you. It really is very fucking hard to feel sorry for you.
Yeah, the ridiculous tax breaks that encourage people to buy 10 or more properties and, drive the market out of the reach of just about everyone.
You get the what an epic beard.
One of the house guests. All the drinks are being cold in the fridge there. So
he's whoever the house guest is. You've got an epic beard there, sir.
Thank you. I grew it myself.
One would hope. It's It's sort of like a I don't know how to put it, but an analogy that I would come up with is if I am making all of my money by going in and breaking into people's places and stealing all of their cash and putting it under my mattress that where nobody else can get it.
Hmm.
If they invent security
That's your doggo.
systems or yeah, that's my puppy finding a place to lie down. He'll figure it out soon enough. They if they invent a security system or a police officer or something like that to prevent me from doing that, and I get arrested and sent to prison, and all of the money that I stole from all of those people needed to give being given back to all of the people that I stole it from, everybody would go, "That's justice served." It's the same fucking thing in the real estate market, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I've no sympathy for speculators who get fucked over. So I was just Annette asking, has anyone heard of Ouchie the Clown? I remember Kinko the Clown. That was a sort of Gen X novelty record. Kinko the kid loving clown. If the kids just love me back, I'll never wear a frown. It was, a very unpleasant song. That's the sort of, like, the humor for this, I think everyone missed it. The I put in the title of this. It's the anniversary of when the Space Shuttle Challenger blew up in like 86.
Oh.
And like I said, you can tell I'm going to hell because when that happened, I just fucking laughed. I just sometimes trying to explain to Americans, particularly in my world in the 80s, where we were basically sure the Americans were going to kill us all in a nuclear war. And the American imperialism, particularly in South America, was at an extreme, overthrowing democratically elected governments and whatnot. And Americans, I think, never understood how much people wanted to see them stumble. And this particular space shuttle flight that they had a civilian on, she was a school teacher, like a kindergarten teacher or something, and it was a big event, and there was so much media hype around it, and the fucking thing blew up. And this is like just loving of sick humor, which was the dominant humor at the time, was the news cameras in the kids' classroom watching their teacher take off, and then it went boof, and the kids were sitting there going, "What?" And I was just like, "Oh my god, that's hubris. That is Greek god level of striking down the hubris of humanity." That was not that I believe in such things, but that's what it. I was studying all the Greek classics at uni, and that was what it was like. It was like the gods were so sick of human hubris, they struck them at their most vain moment. And it was like, oh, god damn.
I understand the ideal behind it. I mean, my heart breaks for the people that were on the Challenger space shuttle, especially considering that what caused it to blow up was avoidable and was reported and ignored and all of those sorts of different things. My heart breaks for those and their families and all of those affected, but that didn't stop me from making all of the horrible jokes about the Challenger disaster.
Oh, we had so many bad jokes about it.
Yeah,
like,
how do you know that they only drink Pepsi at NASA? Because they can't get 7-Up.
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah. Oh, Charlie, Captain Kirk's, I'm going to be pedantic. Captain Kirk's last words were not "oh my." His last words were "it was fun." That was in the Generations movie. Well, actually, he got to die twice because he fell through the rift where everyone he knew thought he was dead because they never saw him again. But then he went into that mystical place where Picard found him, and they worked together to stop the bad guy. But Kirk suffered a fatal injury. And Picard's like, "I'm sorry." And he goes, like, "Don't apologize. I helped the captain of the Enterprise. It was fun." And then he died.
Can we just take a moment to recognize Malcolm McDowell as just a terrific bad guy?
Yes, Malcolm McDowell rocks. In almost anything he's in, Malcolm McDowell is really good. Go right back to Clockwork Orange or through to that. And what was he in? There's a series that's on Amazon Prime in Australia. So actually it'd be on Amazon Prime everywhere. It's called Truth Seekers. It's got Nick Frost and Simon Pegg in it. It's
Okay.
really good. It's like a piss take nerd X-Files, but they build to this really quite big story. Like it's just you just think, oh, it's just a silly sort of nerdy piss take of the X-Files, but they really build it. And Malcolm McDowell plays Nick Frost's dad in it, and he's quite good. Oh yeah, sorry, Abigail saying Malcolm McDowell in Tank Girl. He hammed it up and was laughing at it. Malcolm McDowell hams it up in everything. That's what Malcolm McDowell does. He's great.
I love introducing people to the movie Tank Girl for the first time. It's one of those cherries that I just love to pop.
Oh, you know those pop culture T-shirts I wear often, like on sites like T Fury, where the comic image is usually a mashup of two things.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Lucky Dip ones I got them for the, they were doing a $5 T-shirt day, so I went, yeah, let's blindly get one, and I got like 2 for me, 2 for my lad, and 2 for my daughter. And the really cool one my daughter got, it was Furiosa from Mad Max Fury Road, done in Tank Girl illustrations style, and it's captioned Tanker Girl, and it's so good. It's such a good design.
My animated GIF for my user profile way back in the day on a couple of forums that I was on was a picture of Tank Girl lying on the turret going, feeling a little inadequate. Because that's just my favorite scene, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they did the kangaroos in that movie was so fucking weird.
I love them. I absolutely love them. I think it's great.
If you're stoned, that would hurt you. If you watch that, it's not something I've done, but that was just the thought I had when I watched it. Man, if you were fucked up on drugs, these kangaroos would push you over the edge. They're just, they are so weird.
There'd be part of me that'd be tempted to trip balls and watch that movie. That there would be part of me that would be tempted.
The only two, and this is in a cinema, the only 2 movies I've gone to see tripping were Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss, which is just a weird fucking movie.
I have never even heard of that.
That was before Nicolas Cage went mainstream. Nicolas Cage was still indie guy with cred at this stage. But yeah, seek it out. It's 90s Nicolas Cage, and with him thinking of vampires after him, and descending into madness somewhat. And it's weird. It's fucking weird. And I was tripping. See, Annette knows it. And also, the other one was Dumb and Dumber, okay? Which is an incredibly silly film to see. But the bit where Jim Carrey feeds Jeff Daniels laxatives because he's jealous of him, and there's that uncontrollable shitting scene. I literally fell off my chair in the cinema and was lying on the floor laughing hysterically because I just couldn't hold it in. And I spent 5 minutes lying on the floor.
Much like the character couldn't. Much like the character couldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with me, it was laughter, fortunately. And I just collapsed. It was just...
Yeah. No, a couple of my friends' kids absolutely love that movie, so I've seen it like 1,000 times.
Oh, Jesus.
And, it's one of those movies, like, it's one of those rare movies that the more you watch it, like, you actually gain a little bit more appreciation for it every now and again. Like, you don't grow to, like, fucking hate it the way that you do, like, a song that gets overplayed on the radio or whatever.
Yeah.
But that movie, like, I've seen it so many times. It and Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. You just gain a little bit more insights into the comedic genius that was Jim Carrey. I don't know how I feel about Jim Carrey nowadays after the whole anti-vax thing and whatnot. Like, I'm still, I'm hoping that he's given that shit up and walked away. I'm not 100% sure, but back in the day, there's no denying the man's talent.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, did you see him do the Andy Kaufman biopic, Man in the Moon?
I did not see that, no.
Okay.
No, but on that same token, I didn't like Kaufman.
Yeah, Kaufman was very strange. Jim Carrey worshipped him.
Mm.
And there's a doco on Netflix that they only released like a year or two ago. It was all the making of footage. And they literally, at the time, said to Jim Carrey, yeah, we shot all this stuff. We cannot show it publicly. You'll be crucified and no one will ever speak to you again if we do. Because Jim Carrey got this stupid shit in his head that he had to become Andy Kaufman, and he wouldn't talk to anyone as Jim Carrey. And it's like, yeah, you were being a complete fucking asshole, and you were missing the point of method acting altogether. And you would deserve to be vilified by people because you were a complete fucking piece of shit on the set. And there's no excuse for it. And yes, Abigail and Charlie, there's also no excuse for the transphobia in Ace Ventura as well.
Nope.
There's transphobia?
It's the central payoff joke that...
of course it is. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Light bulb turning on above the head right now. No, 100%. Ladies, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Jude... That's a good analogy. Kaufman's humor frequently looked like amateur night at a local comedy bar. But I have to admit, I did like the thing about Kaufman. He was basically deconstructing the accepted state of comedy all the time. And he was just fucking with people. He just came up, he's like, and it was almost like, okay, I'm kind of famous, I'm making money, but I actually just want to fuck with people and subvert their expectations. And then his routines where he was subverting expectations became popular. So he's going like, oh, now I have to do something else. So he has this persona, another character that he always refused to admit was him, but was incredibly vile and offensive and obnoxious. And they would just do it to shit people. And it was like, wow. Jude, it's a valid point. Is deconstructing the same as not good at comedy? Who are not good at comedy would try and say, you don't understand what I'm doing. I say Kaufman did know what he was doing. Kaufman was just constantly fucking with people. And as far as things to do with your life go, fucking with Hollywood elites is pretty funny. So...
Yeah, no, look, I mean, taking... Oh, and now I've got the other puppy in my room. No, taking apart the established order and stuff like that is always a good thing. Shaking up the system is definitely something I can appreciate and get behind. Kaufman was unnecessarily confrontational, in my opinion. And yeah, it was a hard pill for me to swallow where he was concerned. Like, it's the same for me with a lot of comedians out there, though. Like, I love some of what Jim Jeffries has done as a comedian. Like his skit on gun control, for instance, is infamous and should have been, because it was really, really well done. But his behavior and his skits about women were absolutely horrifying. Now, apparently he doesn't do that anymore. He's grown up from that part of it, and, you know, good on him. But it's hard to appreciate him as much as others would because of seeing that. George Carlin is another classic example of that. Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, Robin Williams, Billy Connolly, like all of these large known comedians / entertainers. There are aspects of each of them that I absolutely love, and there are other aspects of them that it's like, it makes it really hard for me to appreciate them.
It is. It's not like working in a coal mine hard, but it is hard to do comedy because if you're going to be anything apart from a hack, you have to challenge boundaries. And you are, if your whole thing, because the humor I grew up with in the 80s, it was deliberately obnoxious, vile, and confrontational. If there was a major disaster where hundreds or thousands of people died, it was a race to be the first one who had a joke about it.
Yeah, that reminds me. The guy that did the voice of the parrot in Aladdin, I can never remember his name. That guy with that
Oh
really horrible
yeah,
voice.
Gilbert Gottfried.
That's
Yes.
him. Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey.
Mm.
He did a joke not long after 9/11, and he made a joke about what happened in 9/11,
Yeah.
and he got absolutely fucking crucified for doing that. And his career never really recovered. I didn't actually think that his joke was all that offensive. I actually found the joke to be very insightful at the time. And
It
there
was a
are
variant of "I just flew into town," wasn't it?
something along those lines. I forget
Yeah.
what the joke was now, but it was.
Let's look it up. You keep going. I'm going to look it up.
It's one of those things. Like a lot of comedians out there, uh, who have got like a lot of talent. Not saying that others don't, but some comedians out there with a lot of talent have a great way of getting people to look at horrible aspects of society, whether it be a tragedy or various cultural horribleness that goes on, and kind of getting them to look at that through the lens of comedy. Um, and getting them to look at it in a way that they don't feel confronted.
Mm.
I think that that's a very powerful sword to be able to bear.
Yeah.
I wish I had the ability to do it, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I've got nothing but respect for those that do.
Sorry, I found Gottfried's joke. It was at the roast of Hugh Hefner, and he said, "I have to leave early tonight. I have a flight to California. I can't get a direct flight. They said I have to stop at the Empire State Building first."
Yes.
And he said, instantly lost the crowd. He said, "In my whole career, I've never seen anyone lose a crowd like I." And he said he had no idea that was going to happen when he did the joke, and they all got mad. And so then, when they got up in his face about it, he was like, "Oh, you think that was offensive?" And he launched into the Aristocrats, his version of it, which was especially vile. But again, I don't really have a lot of time for Gilbert Gottfried. I think that shtick of his with the stupid voice, that's I don't know. It's just a one-note joke. But no, he was fine after that. What really sank him and cost him a lot of money, because he had a job voicing a gecko for an American insurance company, Geico, and
Right.
after the tsunami in the Pacific, particularly the damage was done in Japan, he made some joke about people who were happy because they lived 100 miles inland and now they had waterfront property. And
okay, yeah.
And see why it didn't destroy him. The 9/11 joke, Twitter didn't exist then. When he did the tsunami joke, Twitter existed, and he lost that Geico job that was worth a fortune because they were like, "Oh, we do business in Japan. We're going to have that." So, it is very hard to do comedy without upsetting some people. And in fact, normally, if I've upset someone, it's 1000% deliberate. It's like, oh yeah, did that upset you? Good, because I think you're a piece of shit and I actually wanted to upset you. If I've missed the mark, I try to listen. If someone says that didn't work for that, like some jokes that for ages were some of my favorite movie jokes, someone points out, go, well, that one's this really gross combination of transphobic and telling intersex people they're literally the worst thing that could possibly happen in the world. And the other one was really whorephobic. And that's not so like horrible, but it's just out of respect. I was like, oh yeah, that is actually shit. And it's like, try and listen. And I either agree with them and go, oh yeah, you've actually sort of opened my eyes a bit there, and I should think about that. Or it's like, oh no, you're actually a Trump voter, and yes, I actually think you fuck dogs. So
it is one of those things. Look, as you know, I've got a lot of really horrible and inappropriate and disgusting jokes in my arsenal. But
yes.
there were some of those jokes that I've got that I flatly refuse to tell nowadays because it's been pointed out to me that saying those jokes could cause real harm. And I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. It's it always brings to mind that fucking idiot, that Steven Crowder fuckwit.
Oh,
Who's forever going out and doing that whole, blah 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 exists, change my mind, and
yeah,
attempts to have debates with people.
Yeah.
And now we've got an Australian version of that guy, fucking Liberty Alliance, or whatever the fuck his name is, that bloody idiot. Yeah, basically, these guys are like, they like, if I were to tell one of those jokes again, one of them, I won't actually say the joke, but it made real light of domestic violence. It made real light of women's problems with domestic violence,
yeah,
and it was brought to my attention exactly how damaging that could be. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I should never have told the
yeah,
joke, and I never will again.
yeah,
These are the idiots that would then say that joke and go, no, it's freedom of speech, and no, it's trying to, get people's minds on it and all of this sort of shit. And it's like, there are other fucking ways to achieve that without being an asshole. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And
yeah,
besides, those free speech crowds, they're the ones who are the biggest on suppressing other people's speech
aren't
anyway.
they ever? Oh
They
yeah,
always are. They're such
Mm.
hypocrites.
yeah.
Oh, Kirsty,
It's
you
not,
brought up John Ronson's book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed, which is an interesting book. He investigates some very high-profile cases of people who've had their missteps or fuckery smeared all over the internet. I will say one thing about that book, though. He takes sides, and several of the stories, he's so selective about the way he presents what happens and leaves out incredibly important information that it's not a stretch to say he's lying when he paints the person who got publicly shamed as, not all of them, but one in particular about these two guys who were horrific sexist jagoffs at a tech conference. He makes very light of what they did, and he leaves out an enormous amount of context. Mainly that these
was
guys.
that the guy that made the dongle joke?
No, these two guys were in one of the big American tech conferences, and they were just being really loudly and vilely misogynist, and they kept going. It's like some people act like, oh, they misspoke and they think they shouldn't have said that, but they actually carried on for ages. When people were like, shut the fuck up, what is wrong with you, they got worse.
Yeah.
It's
a thing that does happen. Like, sometimes when you find these misogynistic assholes and somebody goes, hey, you shouldn't be fucking saying that because that's really misogynist and fucked up, their response isn't to go, good point. It's to get louder and scream it louder.
Yeah. So, So it's always wonder when someone goes, oh, I'm going to be, the counterintuitive one, and I'm going to defend the person who got vilified on the internet. They got shamed or whatever. And it's like, internet mobs regularly go too far. But
sorry for laughing. My dog behind me is watching you on the screen and he's growling.
All right, now I'm trying to trick you. I can see you, dog.
Thanks. It's all right. He's not a bad man. It's okay.
Bring my cat out. Oh dear.
It is one of those things, isn't it? There was a guy. Oh shit. Friend of a friend of a friend type thing, lives over in the States, used to play an online game with him and whatnot. Jim Jeffries became semi-viral about the whole gun control skit. We hopped in to play the game, and there's like several Australians, a couple of guys who were expats from America to England, and a couple of American guys in this group. And it was just one of them that was your full gun-toting fucking Second Amendment chest beater dickhead, And we started talking about Jim Jeffries' skit. And what basically what this guy found out before the end of like everybody basically tearing him a new one because he was like, oh, Jim Jeffries should be shot. We were kind of like, well, that's a really stupid opinion to take, because the reason why Gun Nuts got so bent out of shape over what he said is because it was fucking accurate.
It was reasonably accurate, yes.
Yeah, that's the problem with that fucking skit for all of these gun nuts. Like he said in one of the, none of you subscribe to Padlock Quarterly. None of you have got a Facebook profile picture of you hiding behind a screen door going, fucking yeah. Like all of this shit about, oh, I need the gun for protection, I need it for defense. It's like, yeah, I've never heard of these defense rifles you speak of. He said that the only reason that you've got to basically say, don't take away my guns, the only argument that you've got that makes any kind of sense, it's not the best argument, but it's an argument nonetheless, is fuck off. I like guns. And it's true.
Mm.
It's absolutely true. Oh, and
Guns
now
are
Jack's back.
cool. Sorry. I only ever use them for target shooting, but I'll never argue that guns aren't cool. Guns are cool and fun. They're just super fucking dangerous, and there should be really strict regulation of who is allowed to have what type of weapon. It's as simple as that.
I carried a gun when I was a cop. I carried a gun when I was in security. I still go out to the shooting range every now and again. It's a lot of fun. Guns are cool. Absolutely. But 100% what you said. Properly fucking regulated. Making sure that it doesn't go into the hands of fuckwits. Like, it was like America had its own version of a pandemic of people going out and shooting places up.
Are you suggesting that they need a well-regulated militia?
Yeah, I love pointing that out to the Second Amendment guys. It's like, the idea of the Second Amendment was well-regulated militia.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots.
Yeah. The American Constitution is such a fucking pile of shit. And also what bugs me is, they have all those amendments and people say, like, you have to protect and it can never change. You go, do you know what the word amendment means?
Yeah. You cannot change the Second Amendment. Yes, you can. It's called an amendment.
It was already changed. It's just like the concept that people 200 years ago could have any meaningful input on the sort of weapons that are available today is absolutely farcical. You need a new amendment that says, or it doesn't even have to be constitutional, because the Second Amendment is so fucking stupid and so fucking meaningless.
Yeah.
That's it. You just need to introduce laws that say, hey, you can't have this sort of magazine. You can't have this sort of firepower.
I got into an argument with one of my American friends. Well, she's no longer a friend. Me and her don't talk much anymore. We kind of drifted apart because this was years ago. She was very pro Second Amendment, to the point where she literally said the following words: the citizens of the US should have everything the military has.
No.
That is the thing people say. They should be allowed to have tanks and artillery.
And fucking drones. Really? You fuck?
Yeah.
Could you imagine Billy Joe Billy Danny down the road with a tactical nuclear weapon?
Yeah.
It's not even the fucking nukes. Like, as Jim, again, I go back to Jim Jeffries, he says, you do realize that you're bringing a gun to a drone fight. Like, the Second Amendment was written back in the days of fucking muskets. They had no idea that something like the AR-15 was going to fucking exist.
Yeah.
No.
And you can't fucking tell me that there's any reasonable need for a civilian to own an AR-15.
No.
Yeah.
Some of them will come up. Some of them will come up with an argument of, well, the Gatling gun was invented before the, U.S. Civil War, before the Revolution, and it was. You know what it was considered? Artillery. It was on par with cannons. Yeah.
Look, I mean, the AK-47 is probably the breakthrough into fully automatic rifles and stuff like that. It's always held up as the shining example.
And the owner of it hated it.
And
the creator of it.
And again, I state the Second Amendment, when it was written, they would never have dreamed in 1,000 fucking years that a gun like the AK-47 could have ever existed. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
honestly believe that the Second Amendment would be vastly fucking different if it was written with today's technology in mind.
And
Yeah.
it should be. And sorry, I did just look it up, Fox. The Second Amendment was ratified in 1791. The Gatling gun wasn't invented till 1862.
Okay.
So they had muskets. They had single
Yeah.
load muskets. That was the only weapon they had. That was the only firearm they had.
Yeah, and I believe it was again the Jim Jeffries gun control skit where if you had to buy that, by the time you loaded the damn thing, you wouldn't be pissed off anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
Just you
the
wait,
good
I'm
idea
gonna
about a musket
get
is
you.
it gives you a lot of time to think. Yeah,
Yep.
you know, it's one of those things. I was out at a show where they were showing off like really old school guns, like some of the original fucking guns, like the original Smith and Wesson pistol and all of that. And one of the guys there had a proper built working replica of an actual musket. And he showed the loading process of a musket, and he was like, "This is why you've got to take into account what the Civil War actually was with these fucking guns. Number one, loading them was a pain in the ass. Number two, the greatest majority of shots with this gun weren't fatal because they weren't capable of being fatal. What killed most of the people was the fucking horrible infections and whatnot that they got from being shot with these fucking guns because they're wildly inaccurate. And even at close range, like, yeah, a musket shot close range in the face or in the chest is going to kill you, of course. But from, only like 50 feet away, its efficacy of death drops dramatically. Its accuracy drops dramatically. And people would get
Yeah.
shot in the gut and it wouldn't hit anything vital. It would be a wound that somebody in today's day and age would be able to survive, no worries, would kill that person a couple of weeks, couple of months afterwards from horrible fucking infection setting in. Like, it's a really frightening thought.
Yeah.
Um,
And another cause of death in Civil War was dysentery. Maybe they shouldn't have been assaulting Terry and he wouldn't have killed them.
oh, bottom tish. Oh, Fox. You should be bloody ashamed of yourself.
Dear.
I'm not.
Oh.
Oh, no.
I'd threaten to spank you, but you'd like that, you dirty bloody.
Yeah.
No.
Abigail, you're right. What if the British try to invade again? My favorite was that little fucking meme from last year. Some guy randomly saying something on Twitter about 30 to 50 feral hogs invading his yard and how would he protect his children. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And then some people from rural areas were just like, sometimes you do actually get little packs of feral pigs. But Alexander Dale saying like the AR-15 thing, you get all these people who say, I need it for hunting. It's like, did the deer also have the guns? Are they shooting back? Is that what we needed?
Yeah, no, that's it.
One of the lesser known Eddie Murphy films from back in his prime, The Distinguished Gentleman, where he's basically I think it's great. Con man who gets elected to Congress. And he's with one of the high ups and they're going out with the lobby groups and they're going with the National Rifle Association and they're all going duck hunting with machine guns, and Eddie Murphy's with them, and they're all going, and a duck sort of drops out of the sky and lands at his feet, and he looks at it and goes, think you scared it to death.
No, my favorite thing is when they say, we need it for hunting. Dude, you have a Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle. What are you hunting?
Yeah,
it really is one of those things. Look, I've gone out on hunting trips before for pest control and stuff like that, and I've got no issues with that at all, none. I'm one of these people that is, I'm perfectly fine with citizens owning guns, provided that those citizens are regulated like we are here in Australia. We need to pass tests and background checks and all of those sorts of different things before we are allowed to own that gun on our property. I'm 100% for this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what your reasons are in Australia, you are not ever allowed, ever going to be allowed to own a gun like a fucking AR-15, and you
No.
should be allowed to own a gun like an AR-15. You know?
There are lobby groups who want that though.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, fuck all of them and everything they have ever stood for.
Like one they snuck in was a semi-automatic, or they were pushing very hard to get in, was a semi-automatic shotgun that apparently could fire about 15 shots in 5 seconds. And it's not good. Abigail has a purge desire, as in, Purge Night from the movie.
Yep.
Wants to go duck hunting. It would be a fun bit of retaliation if you were there in the lake or the dam, with your camouflage on, looking like a lily pad, and when the duck hunter started up, just actually returning fire and watching them panic. It's like...
It's one of those things. I was massively into martial arts when I was younger. And I'm still very much obsessed with martial arts culture and stuff like that. But I absolutely hate the MMA. Not in terms of the sport in and of itself, but the type of people that it breeds. It's sort of like football in that way.
Yeah.
Just
setting something up over here.
No, you're right. Do what you got to do. It's akin to that the porn actress who was dating an MMA guy, and he beat the ever living shit out of her and another guy that she was with, and all of this sort of stuff. And he ended up going off to spend years in prison, which is where he fucking belongs. It's hard to believe that. I think that he was capable of that before he did his MMA training personally, but I don't think that he would have been able to do as much damage and wouldn't have been so insistent on causing that damage if it wasn't for the mentality and the training that surrounds that fucking event. It's why I stand against it.
And also steroid abuse and being punched in the head a lot, both cause personality changes and both cause violent outbursts. Just saying, that's another negative to the whole thing. Right, I'm setting up my camera. This is going to be very quick. I literally have to do about a minute of shooting to admit I fucked up. I made a whole video with a cocktail, and one of the ingredients was wrong. I used the wrong thing, and my whole point was this was a vegan cocktail, and I used an ingredient that wasn't vegan because I got confused because I'm a goddamn idiot. And
or hear me out. Don't admit you're wrong.
yeah.
Just shoot it like you were meant to shoot it, and don't tell them you got it wrong in the first
I
take.
could reshoot the whole video, but I kind of think it's more fun to cut in and have it running, and then suddenly cut in and go, "Oh, public service announcement! I'm a moron." And just admit, I bought 2 cream liqueurs, and one of them's vegan and one isn't, and I just made this whole video with the one that's not vegan. And the whole selling point of this video was this is a vegan version of a Brandy Alexander.
Angry from the future here.
Yeah, Angry from the future. Angry from the past is a bit of a knob. He just did something dumb. So, but that's like going to take like a minute. Slightly longer than a minute. But
Jude, you just said in the YouTube comment section, isn't it marvelous how folk who talk about holding and shooting guns never imagine themselves getting shot? Jude, I'll take that to the next level. You're completely correct in that they never really imagine they're the ones getting shot at. But it's these are the, like, for the most part over in America, it seems that the Second Amendment idiots, the right-wing Second Amendment idiots, are the same idiots who say, we shouldn't need to wear a mask and the government shouldn't fucking tell us to wear a mask and all of this sort of shit. When it comes down to it, they are more comfortable with the idea of holding and shooting a gun at someone to kill them than they are at wearing a mask not to kill people. Like, that fucking boggles my mind. It really, really does. I could go on all fucking night about it and people will get annoyed, so I won't. But yeah, that just absolutely destroys my fucking mind.
So I remember one of the last Angry Bunches I was in, I showed off 2 of my swords, the foam one and my saber.
Mhm.
I went looking for the third one, never found it that night.
I found it late.
Yes, we found it.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So
Very
Wakizashi.
pretty design.
Yes.
It's a very pretty design. No, it's a very common bogan thing in New South Wales, especially. It would seem that you go into somebody's like housing commission bogan house, and they're either going to have a sword display or a knife display up. And the one that always gets me now, I'm a little bit trepidatious about knives, but that's a long story. But there was this idiot. Oh God, back in Macquarie Fields, he used to buy all of these back before they were more difficult to get. I would say back in the day, and they were all of these elaborate design knives and all of that sort of stuff. And the way that he was able to get them past customs and for them to be legal for him to have and all of this was the blade had to be blunt, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. Do what you got to do,
I'm
Angry.
okay. Switching my
Yep. So as I was saying, the blades had to be blunt in order for them to pass customs and all of that. So
Yeah.
he had a station out the backyard of his house that was basically dedicated to making these blades as sharp as all living buggery. The part that always made me laugh, though, was that a lot of the blades weren't actually tempered properly. They were never designed to be sharpened. So he would start the sharpening process and promptly shatter the bastards or break them or whatever. And he used to get so pissed off, and that always made me laugh. That always
Okay.
made me laugh.
I'm going to be that guy. Abigail, technically you spelt that incorrectly. That's meant to be, that first S should be a Z. It's like a Zashi, not like a Sashi. Sorry, I had to be that person.
Well, yeah.
Although her knowledge of swords, she probably understands me having to be that person.
If you
Or she'll say
really,
fuck you either way.
if you want to be really anal about it, the blade was originally named after its creator, and had its name changed to Wakazaki later. Its actual original name was a Kukasaki. So we can all play that game.
Yes, you can be that guy too. Grasshopper, you
Yeah.
can be that guy too.
I'm sorry. I'm a huge. As I said before, like I used to train in martial arts
Yeah.
full time, and I loved it, and I'm still obsessed with martial arts culture and history.
Why can I see
And
you,
yeah,
me, and Abigail just having a nerdy sword talk, or maybe in my Abigail's case, a full on just medieval Europe, feudal Japan weapons and armor talk, and just sit there just going back and forth all night.
I don't know much about the medieval stuff, to be honest. Especially like the European Roman
Yeah.
gladiator type armors and swords and all of that. But the Japanese samurai,
Yeah.
the Chinese wushu, stuff like that, I'm fairly well aware of those blades and their uses
Yeah.
and how they were invented and all of that. So yeah, I could talk about those topics, but if you and Abigail were to start talking about, say, the Roman gladiators and the swords or whatever that they had, I'd be like, that sounds really cool. That would basically be my reaction, to be honest.
Yep, Abigail agrees. She could see us having that discussion. Okay, Abigail, it's a date. We need to have that discussion one night. Or one day. That's it.
Man, no, it's
That's going to be an entire day for me and Abigail.
the ninth level of enlightenment is one who has all of the solutions. Okay, is that like a Buddhist thing, Ahsoka? Yeah. Roman gladius is
Yeah.
pre-medieval bronze-Iron Age. I'll take your word for it, Abigail. Again,
Yep.
I don't know much about that era of weapons and stuff like that, so I'll
And you said medieval, which is a few a few thousand years later.
Okay, fine. I'm wrong. I'm okay
Well,
with that.
depends how botanic you want to be about it.
Oh goodness.
I also do history for fun.
Okay.
I'm that person.
I can sit here and talk all night in some historical context, like things about like World War One or World War Two, Vietnam War.
No,
I'm all for
I go
that.
further back than that.
But no, when it comes to I could talk about ancient times through my studies of evolutionary biology, but in terms of medieval, pre-medieval, whatever, uh, it's interesting to be sure.
Hmm.
I definitely accept that it can be a very interesting topic. It was just never a topic that really grabbed me. Not that I'm against it; it just never
Yeah.
really grabbed me.
Yeah, that's cool.
So imagine that Angry puts one of his old Angry masks on and starts talking. The audience would go out of their minds. Yeah, that would be true, Jude. That would be true. I wonder if he's actually still got them in storage somewhere. He probably
From
does.
what he said, he does, but he doesn't know exactly where they are.
Okay. Oh, bit
If
too
I
far
remember
down, Angry.
correctly.
There
I'm
we
not
go.
even looking at my screen properly. Where are we?
There's somebody else with no beard on that one.
Yeah, party goers. Oh, and Charlie popped up while I was away. Charlie,
Hello,
hello.
everyone.
Hey,
Hi.
beautiful lady. How you doing?
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
How
Lo-
you
lo-
doing?
Long time no see, Charlie.
Pretty
How you
good. Really good. Well, when I said I had a lot going on, I meant like I've had a lot of fun stuff going on.
Oh, well, that's
That's
good.
good.
That's excellent.
That's good. Yeah. That is always good. Good to hear that somebody's
Yeah.
actually having a good time these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have a good time. I mean, I had a little
Mm.
YouTube meetup last weekend, which was low key but fun. Like a dozen of us hanging out with a dozen people I don't live with. Wow, that was a wild time.
All right.
Haven't done that
if
for
you,
a year.
if you lovely people would just give me 5 minutes, I am out of my iced tea, so I'm just going to go get some iced tea.
Okay.
And I have my vegan brandy Alexander. So very nice. Very chocolatey. Two different sorts of creme de cacao in there. And so it's a lovely chocolatey dessert drink. Pretty happy with it. But I thought that might give me an angle making a vegan version of a cocktail that normally has cream in it. Maybe all the vegans will like me. I don't know. Abigail's use of quotation mark. I've been having fun as well. High five. Yeah.
High five.
Yeah.
Yes, having fun. We know exactly what you meant.
Yeah. I don't make brandy Alexander.
Well, and non-sexual fun as well.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. That's doggy waving at us.
Oh,
Excellent. It's just, I think the fluffy little white dog waving at us was just something. I was just saying, yeah, I don't make brandy Alexanders very often. I know Nettie really loves them, and so I decided to make this one. And oh yeah, that's right. That's why Nettie likes them, because they're really good, creamy and chocolatey. Ashoka, I never averaged 100K views. I had a couple of videos that had more views than that. At my peak was over 10 years ago, and I kind of gave up trying to grow 10 years ago. When they had a localized Australian YouTube page where you could find Australian YouTubers really easily. Then I would get 5,000 to 10,000 views a video. That was the peak. And then things changed and I didn't adapt. And then I just kind of thought, fuck it, I don't care anymore. And I just did whatever I wanted to.
Oh yeah, that was when I had my friend over for New Year's. And I was like, I'm just going to pop into the stream and say hi to everyone. And she was like, oh my God, is that Angry Aussie? I used to watch him 10 years ago.
Yes.
So that was funny.
Did she go to YouTube things? Because she actually looked vaguely familiar.
No, not that I know of.
No, it's the thing.
She's just got one of those faces.
Fair enough. That's cool. Jude's saying, if I like this chocolatey drink, why not just have hot chocolate? Well, first, this was cold. Second, I do have hot chocolate. I'm not a coffee drinker. I drink hot chocolate. Third, there's no brandy in hot chocolate, so that's like.
Well, not normally.
I think it was a line attributed to the really acerbic writer from the 20th century, Dorothy Parker, was saying like when she's out partying with people, and someone's saying like, Dorothy, you're always smoking and drinking. Why do you do such things? And her response was, well, don't ask me why I smoke, but I drink to get drunk. So it's just like,
yep.
It's like she was acknowledging smoking is stupid and you can't really defend it. But as to why do I drink alcohol, it's like it's the part where you get drunk that I like, It's like,
Speaking of hot chocolate, do you know what a Velvet Presley is?
A Velvet Presley?
Yeah, it's basically hot chocolate with bourbon in it. That
does sound like something Elvis would have, actually. a good Southern boy. He liked his sweet stuff. I made a drink dedicated to Elvis, the Hunk of Burnin' Love, and because he was reputed
to have
to
bacon and bananas in it, and
he was reputed to like bacon and banana sandwiches. So I made some bacon infused bourbon, and I kind of forget what else was in the drink, but then I got I crisped up little bacon bits and stuck them to the side of the glass with honey, and then I got a banana and sort of cut a little channel in it, or dug it out with my finger really, and filled that with overproof rum and set it on fire, and then to prove it to everyone it was on fire, like sprinkled cinnamon through it so all sparks went up, and that was the Hunk of Burnin' Love for Elvis. Had the bacon, had the bourbon, had the banana, all the stuff that Elvis. Oh, and peanut. Yeah, the other thing was Elvis apparently like peanut butter. Banana, peanut butter, and bacon sandwiches. And I used a macadamia liqueur to.
It's such a stoner food.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm not sure that Elvis did drugs. I know he drank a lot, but
no, he did. I believe that's why
he was
died.
fucked up on prescription drugs.
Yeah, he died on the toilet. As the story goes, he died on the toilet of an OD.
Mm-hmm.
He OD'd on the toilet.
Oh,
what a shitty way to die.
He OD'd on life, as in his behaviour was quite excessive.
Yeah,
his
body just quit.
A lot. Yeah, and particularly if you had prescription amphetamines and you're as big as Elvis was,
you'll have a heart attack.
That's a really bad strain on your heart. Kirsten likes banana and bacon sandwiches. Well, they're a good combination, salty and sweet. And also the other good thing about the Hunk of Burnin' Love, when I set the banana on fire, it caramelized the banana, which smelled fantastic. So then when I put the fire out and dropped the banana into the drink, when you put the drink up, you get this big waft of caramelized banana. It was really nice.
Oh, I love caramelized banana.
Some friends of mine, when we had big parties, they would make Jack Daniel's candy bacon.
Ooh.
And that in itself is pretty decadent, but then they would, gather up the drippings, and then those of us who were brave enough would do a shot of the drippings.
Ooh.
Damn.
Did you ever?
I did
Drinking bacon grease. Well, that's how I made the bacon flavored
Jack
bourbon.
Daniel's. Jack Daniel's candy bacon grease.
Yeah, that's how you make the bacon bourbon. You drain off the bacon grease, and you do what's called bacon fat washing. You mix it in, and then you freeze it, and the fat rises to the top and then freezes. So it's really easy to take most of it out, and then you just sort of fine filter the bourbon, so the bits are out, but it takes on this really bacon flavor.
One of the great things to do if you ever get yourself a slice of pork belly. It's messy, but it's delicious. you make your crackling, of course, but what you then do is you get the pork belly and you actually sit it so that the belly side is down on the actual oven racks, and
Yeah.
beneath that, all of the
Oh.
vegetables that you want to roast with your roasted pork belly, and
And it
all of the
drips
cookies go
down.
down onto everything in that tray, and it
Oh.
is
Hmm.
gorgeous. But the cleanup bill is pretty
Yeah.
extensive.
Yeah,
But
You
it
gotta
is
scrub those
absolutely
racks.
delicious.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that sounds good though. That really
Yeah.
does sound good.
Yeah, no, I did that. I
Decadent.
did that, and I was so glad that I did the roast potatoes and carrots, and you could have you would have, if that was just what was served to you, you would have been happy. But the pork belly with the crackling, like, it all went really magically well together. But it
Ooh.
took me probably 3 hours to clean the oven afterwards.
bet.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that I'll happily do a gigantic roast and all of that sort of stuff. I'll get somebody else to do the washing up. I was raised that the cook doesn't clean. But when that's all finished, I will get in and clean up that damn that damn oven. Like, so many people don't wash their fucking ovens afterwards, and it's
No.
like, do it.
Always got to wash the oven.
Charlie, very quickly, when the live stream has ended, I've got a small favor to ask of you, but I'll ask you in the after party.
Okay.
Okay.
Need
Okay.
help from somebody. Need help from somebody who lives up in Queensland. But
Oh.
yeah, no, it's a whole legal thing. It's nothing huge, but I
Okay.
could definitely use your help.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, what kind of favor is it that you can't ask in front of an audience? But yeah,
No, it's a
I'm
whole
sure
legal
it's
thing. You'll understand.
perfectly above board.
It's all above board and
Hey Charlie, which gin are you drinking? Which Greenols are you? Is it one of the flavored
My
or?
favorite. It's the
Blood
green
orange.
blood orange, fig and
Blood
ginger.
orange fig and ginger.
blood orange fig and ginger. It's my favorite.
I love fig. Oh, I love fig so much.
That's not one of my favorites. I actually prefer the green apple, as we've discussed before. I have a green apple one, and that's my favorite.
They're both good.
No,
Yeah.
I'd actually give that
And they're
gin a
good
sip because
just
I
by
love fig so much.
themselves as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love making caramelized fig ice cream.
Oh,
It's so good.
The chip company Kettle does a fig and camembert flavored chip.
yes.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
They're so delicious. I suggest having them at least once.
Vegan.
Yeah, I
camembert.
almost bought some tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got some tonight, Angry?
No, I didn't. I was with my lad. We're in the supermarket today. Like, okay, you're having people over. What do you want? Well, I want to get some chips. And the fig and camembert were actually on special at Coles, 40 or 50% off. But we had some corn chips and some other ones. They went, no, forget it. So I almost bought some of them today, in fact.
The other one as well, if you're ever making a salad that needs feta cheese, I highly, highly recommend the vegan bio cheese feta version. As a vegan cheese, as a feta, it's really good. If anything, personally, I think it's better than normal feta cheese.
Okay.
Especially in a salad and stuff like that, it's absolutely beautiful. I could eat it all day. It's beautiful. But on that same token, it doesn't go through a real cooking process because it's on a salad. So I don't know how it will go on a cooking process. Because I love halloumi, grilled halloumi cheese.
That goes good on burgers.
It really.
I love halloumi.
Thin slices of halloumi on a burger, because if it's too thick, it's too much.
Yeah.
You can actually buy halloumi burger slices. They're sliced perfectly to be good size for a burger from Coles.
Where?
Okay, I haven't seen them.
And
them.
And I put those on the burgers we had not last week before.
A friend of mine found out that the vegan burger patties from Coles or Woolworths, she, I don't know what possessed her to try this, but she got one of those, cooked it up, put it on a burger, and put real bacon on top of it. And she was like, this burger patty with bacon is just the absolute bee's knees. And I'm like, what, as a bit of a protein bacon? She's like, no, it just tastes really good.
That's my thing. I love, I love vegetarian pizza, But sometimes I'll just get
Mhm.
I'll order a vegetarian pizza and get them to add pepperoni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my risotto dishes that I've made were like originally vegan-friendly risotto dishes. And then I figured out, hey, I can add chicken to this, and it tastes
Mm.
really good with chicken. Or I can add tiny little bits of beef, and that's really good as well.
Mm.
But on like my sister-in-law is a vegan, and I'll make her like a pumpkin risotto, or a wild mushroom risotto or something like that. Keep it completely vegan. That's fine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of vegan cuisines out there that are really good by themselves. But if you are a omnivore, you can modify
Mm.
to add your protein of choice in a lot of them, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yes, they're always just swapping culinary tips. And it's just like,
I love cooking.
good.
I love cooking, as is very evident
Same.
by my big fat belly. I love cooking.
Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
indulgent on the food front too. Oh, Kirsten's got a recipe for honey halloumi. That does
Honey
sound
halloumi.
good.
Ooh.
That
Oh yeah,
sounds very
I'm
good.
I'm definitely the cooking type. I mean, I've done a course in cooking, certificate in hospitality from tape, so I've got the.
And it sucks, doesn't it?
It's only a certificate
I
one,
fucking
so.
yeah. I've got a cert 3 in hospitality. It wasn't
Oh,
worth it. It was torture.
so
For a
sorry,
while
that'll
there,
actually get you a job.
I was like, yeah, but no. No.
actually, you remember the
No.
other night? You
No,
remember the other night?
Commercial kitchens are like the most stressful environment ever. All
Oh,
chefs
yeah, I
are
couldn't.
either alcoholics or junkies.
Yeah.
I
because-
couldn't work in a commercial
Because
kitchen.
commercial kitchens are the worst fucking place to work.
yeah.
Yeah, I
You
couldn't
remember
do
the other night,
commercial.
Angry? My female friend Lena jumped into the stream for a while
Yes. Yes.
there. Her fiance, I've known her fiance for literally decades. She was a Michelin star chef in Denmark, and when she was living
Wow.
here, she taught me how to cook. So
Holy
um,
shit! Yeah.
yeah, I got taught how to cook by her, and the best cook in the world that almost everybody has got, their grandmother. Everybody's like, "Oh, my grandmother's always the
Mm.
best cook." I also got
right.
taught by my
Yeah.
grandmother
Yeah.
as well.
My
Yeah.
mum's the best cook.
Mm.
Probably followed closely by me.
No, I
Damn.
love cooking. I love cooking, and my wife loves it as
Yeah.
well because she could ruin cereal. I love my wife, but she could burn water. She
Okay, the only thing I can't cook for now, after tomorrow night, this may change, is omelets. I cannot for the life of me.
Really?
Okay, I know the process. I know what you're meant to do. I just can't do.
it is there is a little bit of an art form to making omelets.
Yeah.
Like whenever I made them, I either succeeded terrifically or failed greatly. And
I
it
mean, a
just got to the
failed
point
omelet
that
is just scrambled
Mm.
eggs.
I ended up just buying myself an omelet maker because it just made my life so
Oh.
much easier.
I just put so much cheese in the egg and milk mixture that it
Mm.
turns itself into an omelet by the time I'm done.
You look very concentrated there, Charlie. Everything okay, darling?
Fox, one day I'll show you how I make omelets, and maybe that'll
Oh, we're
change your
having
life.
dinner with my girlfriend's parents upstairs, and we're doing omelets tomorrow night.
Hmm.
So
Good luck.
This time tomorrow, I should know how to do omelets
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
theoretically.
Because I'm really good at omelets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Omelets is one of those things that I have
That's
on a
one of
rare
my
occasion.
areas of expertise.
You're an omelet expert. I love it.
I'm an
Exactly.
omelet expert.
Like
Oh my God.
Abigail.
I think probably because my grandmother was an omelet expert.
Yeah.
Right.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say your grandmother was an omelet. But
Angry. Yeah. Exactly. How much have you got to drink?
look, all this great stuff's got.
I just spat my gin out.
My daughter made this pastry. It's like she's poached these apples in a brandy maple syrup thing and then baked it in a pastry thing. Oh my God, this is so good.
Just let me reach the screen.
Yeah. No, I had some of it just before coming on with some ice cream. And she made like a spanakopita, puff pastry and feta and
Yeah.
onion and the right cheese. My brain's feta. Sorry, feta, spinach, and onion. Yeah, and it was
Nice.
so good. And when I'm sitting here going, I want to eat more of it, she's just like, oh, I think it would have been better if I made smaller. Cool. I'm going out to the supermarket again tomorrow, and I'm buying more of the ingredients, and you can make more of this because it's really good.
Yeah. I had a friend come over a couple of weeks ago. Oh no, longer than that, a couple of months ago, who'd never eaten my cooking before, and I made a chicken bacon Alfredo, and they invited me over to their place, seemingly just to hang out. When I arrived at their place, they've got all of the ingredients to make up that dish again, and they paid me $50 just to make it for them so that they could have it for their lunches for the week.
Nice, nice.
I thought
Okay.
that was hilarious.
Okay, so I'm going to say something that I do when cooking that I don't know. You guys might look at me weirdly. So when I'm making spaghetti bolognese or meat for tacos or nachos, I will add pineapple chunks.
Well, that's interesting.
It adds that tang and that sweetness that you
That
didn't
makes
realize
sense.
the dish needed.
Yeah. See, when I make a bolognese, I actually add milk to the bolognese, and people look at me like as if I've got a second head growing out of my shoulder. But it really fucking works. And if Gordon Ramsay does it, you can do it.
My thing is Coke.
Coke in like
Okay.
bolognese.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, that'd be
I
flavor profile.
that would add sweetness.
Yeah.
No, look, when I make like sometimes if I feel like a bit of a different dish, 2-minute noodles without the flavor packet, just boil them up and make a sauce using Vegemite, peanut butter, honey, and a little bit of flour and a little bit of stock is absolutely beautiful, drenched over the noodles. You could eat it all day. And people have come over before where they see me adding Vegemite to a pan and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Give me
Oh yeah, Vegemite. That's another one that goes in my bolognese. A little bit of Vegemite.
My grandmother used to add Vegemite to bolognese and to stews and stuff because I don't eat it. I don't like it. She'd do it as a way to trick me into eating it, and I could taste it. I'm just like, really?
Vegemite is one of those.
If you can taste it, then you've added too much.
Yeah, it's one of those flavors that you need to add in small amounts to give you the saltiness into the dish. Like it's a different umami salty flavor to the dish.
It was a slight taste, but I could definitely tell there was Vegemite in it. But it was enough that I could brush it off as maybe I'm imagining it.
I'm one of those adults that has Vegemite on a really rare occasion. Like on a really rare occasion, I'll make like a Vegemite and cheese sandwich or something like that, you know. But apparently, when I was a kid, like tiny little infant kid, my dad would not be able to get me to take to a pacifier until he dunked it in Vegemite. The moment that he dunked a pacifier into Vegemite, I would never let go of it.
That's better than dipping it in booze.
Yeah. No, I did. I got this from the supermarket for my breakfast tomorrow, a cheesy Vegemite scroll.
Oh, I've seen those.
Nice.
Chuck that in the microwave for 30 seconds and it's warm and toasty. Yeah.
My mum has a story of when me and my sisters made her breakfast in bed for Mother's Day. Was it her birthday? No, Mother's Day one year.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I'm probably like 5, 6. So my sisters are 1 and 4 years younger than me. My dad is the one who helps us with cooking, with making breakfast in bed. Some toast with Vegemite on it and a cup of tea. Simple. We bring it into her, completely stone cold cup of tea, toast burnt and stone cold, and a very thick layer of Vegemite.
Oh no!
Wow.
She tells the story because she didn't want to eat it, but we sat on the bed
and watched her. Yeah.
So she had to choke it all down.
Yeah, no. Apparently, my brother and I, for Father's Day one year, tried to make my dad pancakes. Yeah, apparently one year, my brother and I, when we were kids, tried to make my dad pancakes, and they were all of these misshapen, burnt like wannabe crepes almost, like not pancakes. And we served that to him in bed, ice cold, and he sat there and snuffed them all down because
Oh,
I was
Wow.
going, "Did they taste good, Daddy?" You know.
damn.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of those
I
things.
just
Like,
yeah.
I'm not a parent. I will probably never be a parent, but thankfully that's something that I most likely will never have to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. There's in the chat,
Yeah.
Vulpine Hovgard saying they're going to share their omelette expertise. The tip is low and slow, which sounds like a sex tip to me, but
I mean,
I
yes,
mean,
Very quickly, Volpe Holg.
that's true.
The surname is actually pronounced Holgol. It's Danish, and that is the Michelin star chef that used to live at my house. That is.
Oh,
oh,
cool.
is this the
Well,
Volpe you mentioned?
okay. If you're a Michelin star chef, you know how to make an omelette. I get it.
Gr-
I get it.
Yeah,
Grasshopper.
Volpe is.
Is
Yeah,
this is your friend Volpe you mentioned before?
has Volpe met me before?
No, is this the Volpe you've mentioned?
Yes, this is the Volpe that I have mentioned
Oh,
before. Yes.
hi Volpe.
Yes.
I've heard so much about you.
Yeah, no, this is the ever lovely Volpe, who one of these days will definitely jump into one of the streams with us, and you'll all understand why I love her so much. She's
that-
All
awesome.
right, cool.
They should.
Oh
Well,
no,
since you said so.
Abigail's got swings and roundabouts happening. Migraine meds have kicked in, so her appetite's back, but the meds have made her super fatigued, so she can't cook. Damn it.
Then
Hello to
pick
the
something
person
that you don't need
behind
to cook.
Angry who just give us a bit of a wave.
Yeah, just
Hello,
getting some
random
hydration.
Oh, special guest star.
Getting
Yeah,
drinks
hello,
for
Dan.
everyone. Okay, there you go.
But he doesn't
Fridge
have
is
the
full of
epic
drink.
beard, so it's a fail. Like the other guy.
Yeah,
with the
no,
epic beard
there's
is the
only
one that needs
that
to come
one
through.
prodigious beard in the group or any. So
Yeah,
I'm
tell him to send out the beard guy again.
okay. The beard guy's popular. He'll probably come out.
So the
Sounds like
cute
you
blonde girl
like
asked to see him.
Yeah, she's just the other guy that everyone wants to see.
So are these
So I
like
put-
friends of your daughter or your son or something? Are they?
No, these are my son and his mates just having a little get together. So I made them a big punch and a big drink dispenser, and at the start of the stream, like I was chopping up pizza for them. It's just like
Yes, you had a
angry.
clean up.
It's angry. It's like as if you're a dad. You know.
being a dad. So I needed a bit of shelf space. I had a couple of bottles that didn't have much left in them, and I actually had replacement bottles for them. So it was like, okay, making a punch that goes in and that goes
Need to
in.
get more lemonade.
More lemonade.
Little angry no longer. How old is he? Asks Jude.
Abigail, if in the night, the delivery places have stopped more now. I would have ordered you some delivery. Hey, Toby. Look, Jude, my offspring are 20 and 23 now. So, yes, last time they appeared on the channel was more than 10 years ago. I actually think they were both under 10 when they were on the channel. They were little uns. So I put the link because I'm going to go to bed just in case anyone wanted to come on and say hi in the after party. But I'm going to end the stream now because I'm going to go to bed. So
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.